Welcome. This is Jilly Jesson Smyth. I am the owner of Smith and Jesson Digital Network, your media weapon with a kiss. And I'm interested in business development, biz chat, and leadership influence. One of the tools that I have in my toolbox to help people is in regards to their image, their branding, and their relationship with the online world that we live in today. We have a world that is full of technology, and some people are comfortable with it, some are not. And oh gosh, as a result, you may feel a little off balance. You may feel that should you set your toe in the water? Should you set your toe out the front door? It could be a little scary. So what I'd like to do is let you know that I'm interested in the workplace and the balance between it and your lifestyle relationship. And hopefully I can bring you some things today that would be helpful to you as I lead into our process here. I'm going to be presenting a couple different videos on what's happening today in the online world in regards to identity theft, and also in regards to what you have to do and how you have to utilize the legal system for all aspects of your life. And then the other thing is in regards to the different things that could shock you and throw you off balance, no matter how much you think you are in control or how smart you think you are. My background is in television and media, and I have been doing this and being involved with the news and the business development for about 45 years in the marketing and television and broadcasting arena. And what I'm going to share today has to do with how I became shocked awake, and it was a shock, to what the different things that can happen to you that would really throw you off. And the kinds of things that happen to me are beyond belief. So I'm not going to go down all the roads because you would probably just go, wow, how is she even alive? But the other part is when it started, oh gosh, 2006, I think it was the time, I was out at a business lunch and I went to pay for it and my card came back. And I was like, well, what's up with that? Figured out one thing, but as it turned out, it just snowballed. And then the second thing that happened as that all was transpiring is my father had a stroke. And then after that, I found out that, we'll make this really brief, but that the woman that he married was fleecing our family for just about everything. Found out after that my identity was really super stolen, and I couldn't do a whole lot about it. And then found out after that how much lawyers cost, even more than I knew before. And what can happen in regards to how the legal system can really devastate you, even for something super minor. It can wipe you out. So that makes it really brief. So I had pretty much the whole gamut, and this all hit me while I was going to college or post-grad college at Chopra University and Chopra Center, and I was really working on centering and changing my life in many different directions. So I had stopped watching the news for about 5 years, which in many ways could be really good for you, not to pay attention to all the hype, which just seems to be spiraling out of control right now. And that was really good for me. But at the same time, it did not stop some of the horrendous things that were happening without my knowledge. And even if you are on top of things, this stuff happens without your knowledge. There's no way you could be on top of the thievery and the disingenuous behavior that is going on around the world right now without your knowing, unfortunately. So as I process this whole presentation here this morning, we're going to have a couple things, a couple little intros from Fox 11, which is one of the TV stations I used to work for. Fox Business and Money is going to be presenting a couple different short segments on identity theft. I'm going to be presenting a little bit about what I do in regards to the law and identity theft and solutions, really briefly. And then hopefully at the end, the payoff will be that you'll have some more information in your toolbox, more things that are in your head, not to scare you, but just to keep you empowered, keep you aware of what's happening, I'm educated on a daily and weekly basis from Kroll.com about what's happening in the breach and security world. I'm educated almost daily about the law. And when I went to work with a lawyer in regards to my own family situation, you need a $2,500 retainer to get a good one. It takes you several interviews to find that lawyer, and that lawyer may not be the right one. The lawyer that I needed to be a criminal lawyer to go after the person that was stealing all the money from my family. Unfortunately, I went after an estate planning lawyer, which helped in some ways, but at $350 an hour a pop, that can pretty much cost you a pretty penny. And when I found out that I was right about so many things, my lawyer told me I should be a paralegal, that I should go into law, which was really interesting, which I probably should have. Found out it was going to cost me another $100,000 to save the $1 million that had been stolen from me, my family, to take care of my brother who has schizophrenia, and a number of other things that I'm sharing that are very personal, but I believe that everyone out there has a personal story that is important to them. Well, mine was important to me and still is. And I want to be able to let other people know how they can empower themselves in regards to their business, in regards to their home, and in regards to their life, and not be afraid to speak up when it needs to be done. So I will launch into the presentation here. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And I believe that we'll be able to talk after. You'll have a little more information you can meditate on. And you'll have a couple things you may want to make decisions on today, maybe not. We can answer those questions at the end. So thank you very much, and we'll launch things right now. Bye-bye. Well, see you in a few minutes.
Troubling report on the growing problem of medical ID theft. Hackers are going after your medical records. In fact, according to one report, the health industry is the #1 focus of hackers, more than any other sector. Let's bring in Morgan Wright, cybersecurity analyst. Morgan, this was really surprising. I mean, you think, okay, shopping online, retail, we've heard about the big breaches at Target, for example. Why are medical records the focus of hackers?
Because, Jenna, they are the goose, they are the golden eggs that the goose has laid, whereas your records, your credit, and you know what? The market drives this. When you go onto these black market sites to buy records, credit card records sell for 50 cents to $1 a record. Medical records sell for $10 to $50 a record because it has your name, your date of birth, your address, your social security number, physical descriptors, even credit card data. So these have become the one place where the most information about you is usually collected. You don't get medical information, date of birth on your credit card information, but you get all of that in your health record. So that's why they're targeting it.
You know, in preparing for this segment, it's not even just about the hacking, going into a system and infiltrating it and getting your information. Apparently, medical professionals are carrying around our data in little thumb drives, and that's just, people are able to steal that. Morgan,
yes.
What can consumers do if we're not only vulnerable online, but we have people carrying around our information and we don't even know that they're doing that?
Well, look, Albert Einstein said one time there's only two things that are infinite, the universe and stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe. When people are doing stupid things like this, and I do mean they're stupid, you're carrying around on unencrypted thumb drives people's medical information, their histories and stuff. Unfortunately for consumers, they can't do anything till after the fact, which is usually sue. There's some things they can do proactively, which is have good identity theft, have good monitoring, have restoration. But unfortunately, because they have to give that information to get services, there's very little that they can do until after the fact. But what they can do, and you'll see it, there'll be litigation, there'll be lawsuits, there'll probably be legislation. That's what happens after the fact. That's what consumers do when they're wrong. But preventing it beforehand becomes tough.
We were talking to an identity theft expert a few months ago who reminded us that we really don't have to give our social security number to our doctor, which I thought was interesting. It's a good reminder on that.
Right.
What about paying for those services that are supposed to be watching your identity, Morgan? Do you think that's worth the value? Is that valuable to a consumer?
It is, and it depends on what you do. Look, I mean, I've got identity insurance through Kroll and through Legal Shield, And because it has restoration, it's not just monitoring, because you have to monitor more than your credit cards, which is only about 17% of it. It's your medical identity theft, it's your bank accounts, your passport, all of these different things. So if you put a robust plan in place, you at least have some defenses against that. But unfortunately, look, one of the things before I always come on air, I always want to do some research. A couple days ago, Symantec released a big report called the Internet Security Threat Report. Healthcare attacks were up 25%. You're saying targeted more than any other industry. That's what forms the basis for a lot of this identity theft going on, because the more breaches there are of all this kind of information, it only means that right now, 1 out of every 2 seconds, somebody becomes a victim of identity theft. That means this year, Jenna, 1 out of every 18 to 20 people in the U.S. will become a victim, and a lot of that will become from the 99 million records that have been breached so far this year.
Wow.
That are all medical records.
When it comes to the medical records, not only are birth dates, social security numbers, but also just the content of it, Morgan.
Yes.
Is that valuable to hackers?
Absolutely.
And how so?
Because a lot of times people want to get services, so they want to get medical services. So the more that they know about you, one lady that I know that lives not too far from me, when her husband died unexpectedly, they found out that his identity was used 10 times to go to local area hospitals to receive services, and he had to have more information than just a name and a date of birth. So this actually creates identity theft because it takes longer, and medical identity theft because it takes longer to investigate, it's harder to detect, and those services cost you far more than a $200 pair of shoes.
It always makes me nervous to talk to you, Morgan. I always enjoy it.
Sorry,
but the topics, they're really unnerving, and it's important that we just kind of raise awareness, if you will, that this is actually happening. Great to have you, Morgan. We look forward to having you back. Thank you.
You bet, Jenna. Talk to you later.
Sure.
All Americans are vulnerable to hack attacks, including government workers, as we have seen this past year. But there's a new report that finds that children are actually 51 times more likely to be victims of identity theft than adults. Cybersecurity expert Morgan Wright, parenting coach, author of The Nanny Whisperer, and therapist Tammy Gold with me now. Morgan, I'd like to start with you because you have a very practical checklist that we can go through to make sure our kids don't expose some of their data unwittingly.
Right. I call it the 5 golden rules. There's probably more, but the first thing is make sure you're protected with an identity theft plan that has not just monitoring, but comprehensive restoration. If their identity is ever stolen, you want to make sure you can get it back to the way it was, on day one. Do simple stuff like, use security software, use strong passwords, make sure that you're not the bait for phishing and spear phishing attacks. Teach your children not to click on links. There's many things that they can do, because a lot of this stems from social media. A lot of this stems from the familiarity with internet technology. So they're very more likely to share private information than most adults would be.
So bringing up that point, Tammy, how do you talk to kids about this without scaring them? Because as Morgan points out, Instagram, being on Facebook, being on Snapchat, this is just part of anybody's life who's 10 years old or even higher. How do you talk to kids without scaring them?
So, as you mentioned, this is a part of their daily life now, technology. You want to explain to them the concept. You want to explain it in a calm manner, but certainly older children, starting at 8, you can explain that we all have these certain things called social security numbers and what could happen to them if they get into the wrong hands. Usually children do better with rules if they understand why we have the rules. So explaining to them that someone could take this private number and then down the road it could affect you getting a job, that's a simple, not terrifying explanation to why they should follow this rule. And the more they know, they usually follow. And
Morgan, of course, with reason to follow the rules is that kids don't have any bad credit history because they have no credit history. So they are targeted in different ways.
Absolutely. No credit is better than bad credit. And the thing is, with children, they will go undetected for long amounts of time because parents are protecting their bank accounts, their credit information. A good friend of mine just went to enroll his son for college, did the federal student financial aid, found out his son had been trading stocks for 2 years under his name. So this is totally an undetected crime, and the credit bureaus have to do a better job of matching up children and social security numbers to accounts that are non-existent. That's a huge gap right now that these guys are exploiting with the data breaches and with these data brokers that they're mining information from.
Tammy, just as a security and kind of curiosity question, how many parents in your work as a therapist talk to you about the role of social media in their lives?
This particular piece about the identity theft, and the pieces of involving, financial security. They're not really focused on that piece of the technology issues. They're focused on being inappropriate on Instagram, or a predator finding them and kidnapping them. And they're less likely they first go to the most dangerous piece, and a lot of them forget about this financial piece. So it's really important to remind parents that there's this underlying harm that could be done, but it could be easily averted if you have the proper techniques in place to keep the children from putting in the passwords and the proper software to prevent them from getting out this information that they think is harmless, which down the road could actually be harmful to them. Because like you said, they're Snapchatting, they're Instagramming, they think it's going to their friends. The really young ones, they're innocent. They don't understand that someone may be out there trying to hurt them.
Right.
So getting that information out will be helpful.
It's a good reminder. Tammy Gold, thank you so much. Author of The Nanny Whisperer, Morgan Wright, cybersecurity expert. Thank you both for your important contributions to that.
Hello from Legal Shield. We're proud to offer an identity theft monitoring and restoration service through our top-of-the-line Legal Shield Identity Theft Plan. Identity theft affects millions of Americans each year, but our plan provides you with secure web access to an up-to-date credit report, detailed analysis of your personal credit score, and email alerts regarding any activity under your name. And the plan includes Safeguard for Minors to protect the identity of dependents under the age of 18, with valuable information on credit education for minors, advice on the best uses of a child's social security number, and more. We've even partnered with Kroll Advisory Solutions, the industry leader in helping clients mitigate and respond to risk. So in the unfortunate event something does happen to your identity, you'll have professional help in getting your identity restored. And when you provide Kroll a limited power of attorney, a dedicated licensed investigator will do restoration on your behalf for as long as it takes until all resolvable issues have been addressed. This includes comprehensive restoration services such as sending fraud alerts to all 3 national credit repositories and correcting identity theft issues with affected banks, credit card companies, law enforcement agencies, and other institutions. Legal Shield Identity Theft Plan covers you, your spouse, and with Safeguard for Minors, up to 8 dependents under the age of 18. Arm yourself and your family with Legal Shield Identity Theft today. Legal Shield. Worry less, live more.
Legal Shield offers members attorney access for unlimited legal topics for as little as $17 a month. This means you can talk to an attorney about any legal issue you can think of without shelling out a small fortune to do it. Think about it. Affordable attorney access for any legal issue. Sounds too good to be true, right? So, how do they do it? 3 words. Dedicated Attorney Network. What's a dedicated attorney network? It's a framework that enables members to pick up the phone and call an accomplished law firm in their state or province that is ready and willing to help with any legal issue. Because Legal Shield pays these top law firms in advance, the 1.4 million families Legal Shield protects receive access to quality attorneys for just a small monthly fee, as opposed to high hourly charges. And Legal Shield works with partner law firms in 49 states and 4 Canadian provinces, ensuring you're taken care of by an attorney who knows the law in your state or province. Being part of the Legal Shield family also gives you more leverage than calling a random law firm as an individual. And because our attorneys are paid in advance, they're both motivated and obligated to provide the best possible legal assistance.
When you call Legal Shield, they're very calm, they're very organized, they're very professional, and the service is fantastic. They call you back very quickly. I always make sure I'm organized, I have my questions ready, they appreciate that. But I'd never feel like I'm rushed, and I normally, they go above and beyond with their consultations and tell me things that I didn't even ask for above and beyond the call of duty.
Legal Shield only works with quality law firms, with each partner firm being in good standing with their bar association and firms averaging 13 years of being a part of the Legal Shield team. In total, They employ more than 1,100 dedicated attorneys, averaging 19 years of professional experience, as well as over 5,000 partner attorneys, bringing a quality approach to over 40,000 calls a week. Even better, with Legal Shield, you know who your law firm is. With the ability to pick up the phone, call the law firm directly, and speak to someone who genuinely wants to resolve any problem you're facing.
Satisfaction of the member is our #1 priority, to address their legal needs and make sure that they have a fulfilling experience and that their matter is addressed in a thoughtful and professional way and hopefully resolved in a positive way.
Legal Shield is also committed to providing the best customer experience possible, with every partner law firm carefully chosen for its ability to provide caring and responsive legal service when you need it, as well as obtaining only the best results. And Legal Shield continually solicits customer feedback to ensure provider law firms are approachable and effective as possible.
The problem's always been that to have a big law firm to help you has always cost so much. But with your Legal Shield network, you now have quality-conscious, service-oriented law firms and lawyers at your call every day. In fact, I am very proud to be a Legal Shield provider attorney for the last 25 years.
Legal Shield doesn't just provide legal protection. Legal Shield provides outstanding, affordable legal protection with a dedicated attorney network that can't be beat. So, make sure that no matter what you're facing, you'll always have an expert attorney in your corner. Join Legal Shield today and get ready to worry less and live more.
Legal Shield provides affordable legal protection for everyone, which means you can speak with an attorney about any legal topic. But it's more than just access to an attorney at a reputable law firm. It's the peace of mind that members are always protected. Ever signed a contract? Gotten a speeding ticket? Been overcharged for a repair? Had a dispute with a creditor? All of those are legal issues, along with many more things that you don't even think about until they happen to you. Of course, hiring an attorney to handle each of those things would cost a fortune. But with Legal Shield, you have the ability to talk to your provider law firm about any legal topic without worrying about high hourly costs. So no matter what legal issues come up, you'll always have an attorney on your side.
It's an amazing sense of security and just weight off your shoulders when you know that you don't have to deal with all these issues, that you can just call the attorneys and they can handle all this for you.
With Legal Shield, for as little as $17 a month, you can access legal advice on any topic, no matter how trivial or traumatic the issue. The minute you become a Legal Shield member, you'll be able to call an experienced attorney about any legal issue, including 24/7 access for emergencies. And as a new member, you'll receive a welcome packet describing membership details, information about your provider law firm, and a Legal Shield membership card that gives you the power to reach an experienced attorney with just a phone call.
You know, for me, having the Legal Shield membership is complete peace of mind, and it's powerful, it's empowering. Having that card in your wallet, just knowing that you have not just a powerful law firm in your home state, but a powerful law firm in every state and 4 provinces in Canada backing you up.
Having that easy access to an attorney means you'll be able to use it for any legal issues at all, even issues you may have never thought needed an attorney. Legal Shield empowers you to contact an attorney for the big stuff, the small stuff, and everything in between.
If I have an issue with a car mechanic or a plumber or a home construction guy that didn't do the job right, or I take something back to a store and they're not dealing with me properly.
Foreclosure, car wreck, home loan. Legal Shield, Legal Shield, Legal Shield. In any situation, the advice of an attorney might be useful. That advice is just a phone call away. But that's not all Legal Shield can help you with. Legal Shield attorneys can write letters or make phone calls on your behalf. They can review contracts and documents, and they'll be there for you in the courtroom if you or your spouse is named in a covered civil or criminal action case. Legal Shield members even get access to over 100 legal forms and videos relating to specific legal issues, so you're always in the know.
I've been a Legal Shield member since 1984, and in 1985 I was sued. And I contacted my provider firm, and they assigned an attorney to me who filed an answer for the lawsuit and went to court for me and got the whole case dismissed and saved me $14,000. So I've been a Legal Shield member ever since.
Legal Shield also offers a separate identity theft service, helping you safeguard your identity, and if you're ever a victim of identity theft, working to restore your identity to what it was before the breach occurred. Identity theft affects millions of Americans each year, and Legal Shield helps you combat that with credit monitoring, credit report analysis, and identity theft prevention consultation. Plus, if you're ever a victim, experts from Kroll Advisory Solutions, the very best in identity theft restoration, will work with you to repair any damage and restore your identity to what it was before the incident occurred. The best part about Legal Shield legal and identity theft protection? Knowing that with the power to contact an attorney about any legal issue you want and the peace of mind that your identity is being monitored, you're protected even when you're not actively using the service. And with easy attorney access, you can use Legal Shield service anytime an attorney might help your current situation. So join the more than 1.4 million families who trust Legal Shield and empower yourself to worry less and live more. Join Legal Shield today.
Imagine a world where everyone can access an attorney about any legal issue. Now, imagine a world where everyone can afford it. Thanks to Legal Shield, that is the world we live in today. A world where one legal service company is helping millions of families live life on their own terms. So instead of worrying about all the things that can go wrong, for as little as $17 a month, they can get on with their lives, knowing legal advice is a phone call away. The service Legal Shield provides is one of a kind. Our unique network of dedicated law firms is the key to providing a high-quality customer experience. With a law firm in 49 states and 4 Canadian provinces, we have your legal needs covered wherever you may be. And because our law firms are prepaid, their focus is on serving you rather than billing you. From the trivial to the traumatic, and everything in between, our attorneys are always there to not only give you legal advice, but also write letters and make phone calls on your behalf, prepare legal documentation such as wills and powers of attorney, and even represent you in court should you ever need it. Plus, with an extensive library of complimentary forms and information, you can download what you need when you need it. Imagine for one low monthly fee, that you and your family can talk to an attorney about any legal issue without worrying about high hourly costs. Join Legal Shield today and you can stop imagining and start living life in a whole new way, empowered, with complete confidence and total peace of mind. Legal Shield. Worry less. Live more.
For more than 40 years, Legal Shield has been revolutionizing the legal services industry. Revolutionizing the legal services industry? That doesn't quite capture the personal, lasting impact we have made and continue to make on thousands of individuals' lives. Imagine having an everyday concern or question where getting the advice of an attorney would be useful. Imagine the trauma of discovering that you are the victim of identity theft. Imagine encountering a situation where the advice of an attorney is absolutely imperative. Now imagine addressing all that stress with one phone call. That's what we do for you at Legal Shield. You can speak to an attorney without the worry of having to pay an attorney's typical fees. And together with our identity theft services, we provide you with a shield that results in powerful peace of mind. We were founded in 1972 by Harlan Stonecipher. He had just endured his own stressful, costly encounter with the legal system after a car accident that was not his fault. He was determined to make legal protection available to everyone, everywhere. Today, we have evolved into the force for good that Mr. Stonecipher originally envisioned. Based in Ada, Oklahoma, we have approximately 700 employees with a customer service team of more than 300, all focused on calibrating the efforts of our dedicated law firms and approximately 6,900 attorneys in the United States and Canada. Each law firm is there for our members, providing the legal help they need when they need it. So, for one low monthly membership fee, you can pick up the phone to call an attorney and get advice about any issue. We provide these legal services to families all across North America, answering approximately 40,000 calls per week for members. That's right, 40,000 times a week, we help smooth out the knots, kinks, and inconveniences in our members' lives. The attorneys at our law firms average 19 years of experience and have been partnering with us an average of 13 years. They are friendly, warm, and dedicated to helping Legal Shield members. And just as we partner with an expert law firm for every state, we also partner with Kroll Advisory Solutions, the world-renowned leader in identity theft protection. That way, no matter what issue you might face, you're getting the help you need with Legal Shield. What we do is simple. We work hard to make your life less complicated, less stressful, and more fulfilling. That's why with Legal Shield, you can worry less and live more.